Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 356 based on novel. So let's start. 4 stars fighting immortals. In the hall, there were only Xiao Yang, Kailin, Mu Yingying, Huiyi Huayun, and Xiao Yang sat in the first place and muttered slowly. Returning to the domain master, the one who is now representing the star continent is Lin Qingwen. The leader is Lin Qingwen. He is a royal family in the star continent. Although his seniority is far away, he is also a beloved county king. A guard whispered. Pushing the door out, he spoke to Xiao Yang. Understood, let's go. Xiao Yang said softly. Lin Qingwen. This guy can be regarded as a guy with a good reputation among the royal family of the forest family, but I don't know the meaning of going here this time. Kailin nodded and said. I'll go out and have a look. Xiao Yang's voice just fell, and he immediately left the hall and headed towards the mountain of profound spirit. Only by contacting as an ordinary person can he discover some things that are difficult for ordinary people to detect. Sir. At this time, Lin Qingwen and a few entourages slowly climbed the stone steps from the foot of the mountain towards the manor on the top of the mountain. It's really a place with good scenery. Lin Qingwen's slender body looked away, looking at the rather gorgeous Shenling mountain range, and smiled. Although the spiritual energy of heaven and earth is quite lacking here, the scenery here is unmatched by Tianqing continent. Several. In an instant, a man with a rather plain complexion trotted up the stone steps, came to beside them, and said with a smile. No need. Seeing this strange man who appeared suddenly and seemed to be somewhat enthusiastic, the entourage guards beside Lin Qingwen couldn't help showing a hint of vigilance. This little brother, are you also here to pay homage to Lord Xiao Yang and Her Majesty Queen Medusa? Lin Qingwen moved slightly, came to the strange man, and asked. I don't know why, but this strange man has a looming and rather tyrannical aura on his body, and that aura is even more tyrannical than his own, but unfortunately it is so well concealed that it is extremely difficult for ordinary people to discover. Yeah, what are you doing here? Looking at your attire and tone, you don't seem to be from our Shenling continent. The strange man glanced at them. This strange man is naturally Xiao Yang Xiaozhuang. Little brother really has extraordinary eyesight. We came here because of this, and wanted to meet the rumored Queen Medusa. Lin Qingwen smiled. Her Majesty Queen Medusa? Her Majesty Queen Medusa has a lot of time, but not everyone can see it. However, there is a statue of the Queen on the top of the mountain, so it's a worthwhile visit to visit. The strange man smiled. Little brother is right. If that's the case, then don't bother. The voice just fell and the two parted ways. Sir, that guy just now? Xiao Yang had just left, and the guard beside Lin Qingwen suddenly asked cautiously. Don't worry, this is the Shenling continent, not the heavenly star continent where we are cheating. Lin Qingwen smiled casually. There seems to be some weird amulet on this guy. Xiao Yang looked at Lin Qingwen and the others who took the lead in climbing up and disappeared together. After a while, in the manor on the top of Shenling mountain. With a sound, the hall door was pushed open by some attendants. My subordinate, Lin Qingwen from the Star Continent, came to discuss important matters on the order of the princess. Lin Qingwen did not bring his entourage, but went to the hall alone, because he knew that this was out of basic etiquette, and he was also very polite. I want to see what the glory of the Shenling continent, which has won the praise of the princess. Brother Lin is very polite, please take your seat. At this time, Xiao Yang sat in the first place and smiled. Presumably this is Lord Xiao Yang, right? The strength at such an age is to reach a state of ecstasy, which really makes me ashamed. Queen Medusa is also a powerful person with a fierce reputation. Lin Qingwen admired the expressions of Xiao Yang and Queen Medusa, adding the looming terrifying aura. Brother Lin, you're welcome. The Star Continent has been a fertile land of energy since ancient times. I don't know what's going on this time, so let's talk about business. Xiao Yang said softly. Hihi, since Lord Xiao Yang has spoken, then it is better to be respectful than to obey. I'm here this time mainly for the life of the princess and to get the full support of the Endless Fire territory. Lin Qingwen said politely, with a very solemn expression. Oh, princess. Get the support of our Endless Fire territory? Xiao Yang heard this, but he was a little puzzled. The princess was fortunate enough to practice in the Burning Incense Pavilion. Her name is Qinshin. Lin Qingwen seemed to have anticipated Xiao Yang's doubts and explained. Tianqing continent, is there something wrong? Xiao Yang couldn't help asking. Tianqing continent, the royal election is imminent. The 3 most qualified candidates, including the princess, are now attracting backers. The princess is not very friendly now. If they can get the support of Endless Fire Territory, the election will be successful. Lin Qingwen said. Is that so? At this time, Xiao Yang suddenly laughed. Ever since the princess returned from her studies, she has always been thinking about the Xianling continent, so even if she was opposed by many members of the royal family, the princess still gave the Xianling continent a lot of precious cultivation resources and force. Lin Qingwen looked Xiao Yang and Queen Medusa said solemnly, "We know that the princess takes care of our Xianling continent, and I will naturally keep it in mind. Unfortunately, my Endless Fire Territory has just been established, so I'm afraid I can't help you." Xiao Yang also noticed the unspeakable hiddenness in Lin Qingwen's words. "Sir, don't get me wrong, the princess sent me here not to threaten the Endless Fire Territory, but the princess hopes that the powerless Fire Territory can stand on the princess's side, which will be of great help to the royal election. After all, the Endless Fire Territory is also dominated by the Xianling continent in the Dodi Sifang continent, which should not be underestimated. And once the election of the princess is successful, the Star Continent will form an indestructible alliance with the Endless Fire Territory." Lin Qingwen hurriedly explained for fear of Xiao Yang's misunderstanding. "Qinshin has mentioned this to me several times before." Kaylin heard the words and looked at Xiao Yang with her beautiful eyes, waiting for Xiao Yang's decision. "Since that's the case, it's better to hit the sun if you choose a day. Let's set off tomorrow, just to go to the Star Continent, and there are a lot of things to do." After Shun-Chi, Xiao Yang said with a smile, "Thank you, sir." Seeing this, Lin Qingwen couldn't help but feel the slightest moisture in his pupils. He was originally from the princess's faction. If he didn't get the support of the Endless Fire Territory this time, I'm afraid there would be a big obstacle to the election of the princess. Once the election fails, these guys will be completely wiped out as a heretic cup without exception. Now that they have come here on behalf of the princess of the Tianqing continent, they have received the support of the Endless Fire Territory. For them, I am afraid it is a very happy thing. The error-free chapters of Fighting the Sky God of Yang Emperor will continue to be updated on novel.com, and there will be no advertisements on the site. Please collect and share. After the envoy from Tianqing continent explained their intentions, Xiao Yang and the others discussed a lot with him. After a long while, the conversation was quite pleasant, and they also had some ideas about the Endless Fire Domain Powerhouse going to Tianqing continent together. The conversation was very pleasant, and in a blink of an eye it was night. Dong dong dong. A rather clear knock on the door sounded. "Come in. Lord Xiao Yang sent me a message. Tomorrow, Lord Xiao Yang will personally accompany you to the Tianqing continent, but the Endless Fire Territory has just been established, and it cannot carry one soldier and one soldier. I hope you will understand. Go on now." The door closed quietly. "What? The Endless Fire Territory will send Lord Xiao Yang alone with us?" In the ancient and simple incense room, Lin Qingwen just got the news from the guards in the Endless Fire Territory, and he couldn't help roaring in a low voice. "Many concerns. My lord, is this Endless Fire Domain too despised? Just being a domain master of the Endless Fire Domain, what can you do?" The other followers in the room were also hot-tempered. Although this group of people is led by Lin Qingwen, but they are quite unconvinced in their hearts, so they have a lot of grievances. "Wait, this Xiao Yang, if it's not a first-time scumbag, I'm afraid he is a daring person." After a while, Lin Qingwen suddenly knew something, and said with relief, obviously as a royal family, he has been since childhood. Accepting good training, let him understand a lot of things. "Master." The other followers were naturally puzzled and asked in confusion. Now that the election is imminent, even if the Endless Fire Territory sends a coalition army, I am afraid it will not solve the problem. After all, the overall strength of the Endless Fire Territory is not as tyrannical as other forces. And this Xiao Yang is probably also aware of this. However, I have some doubts. How can a 5-star fighting immortal guy solve difficult problems among many princes with his own strength? Lin Qingwen laughed and couldn't help but look forward to it. It's the best way to fight with someone to the death or to the death. There are such good people in the Endless Fire Territory. I am afraid that in the near future, they will be unprecedentedly powerful. After the blink of an eye, Lin Qingwen's eyes couldn't help but become moved. If Xiao Yang can really help their princess to solve the election, then Tianqing continent will have no reservations. Standing here, or even surrendering to the Endless Fire Domain, is not a bad idea. Lin Qingwen still clearly remembered what the princess said. Although the Endless Fire Territory is a newly established new force, it has the existence of Xiao Yang, and it will grow into a green tree in a short time, and if our Tianqing continent can survive this catastrophe, we are willing to surrender. Under it. This time, getting the support of Endless Fire territory is second. As long as Xiao Yang is brought back smoothly, it will be half the battle. This is the princess's original words, because she is also aware of Xiao Yang's ability, not to mention that in the past few decades, Xiao Yang's strength has long since changed. Everyone, rest, this time back to Tianqing continent, the princess will naturally not be able to treat you badly. Tomorrow we will go back to Tianqing continent together with Lord Xiao Yang. As soon as the words fell, calm was restored here. In another place, in the Kailin fragrance boudoir, the night was quite quiet, neither Kailin nor Mu Yingying fell asleep. With Xiao Yang added, the three of them slowly leaned into the room, and for a while, it was quiet. I'll leave tomorrow. After a while, Xiao Yang looked at the two women who were silent in front of him, and his heart relaxed immediately, and said in a rather relaxed tone, obviously only in this situation, there would be the feeling of home, but when he thinks that there are still many things on his body, Xiao Yang can't help but feel a sense of pressure. I won't go with you. The Endless Fire territory still needs a lot of strength to guard it. During the time when you are gone, I will take care of it in an orderly manner. Kailin shook her head, but Kailin kept he didn't tell Xiao Yang that he needed to go to the center of the demon world with the blood of the 10-colored swallowing python in his body, otherwise Xiao Yang would go directly to the demon world with the color scales. I'm not going either. I'll accompany Sister Kailin to practice here. Mu Yingying on the side said angrily. Mu Yingying also knows that she now has 2 holy flames in her body. In addition, she is a holy flame converted to human beings, and she has a unique advantage, but her strength is too weak to help Xiao Yang. After a period of time to improve himself, when Xiao Yang returns next time, he will definitely find his transformation. Because Mu Yingying knew that although the vase was good, it was bad. Xiao Yang also knew what the two girls were thinking, and nodded lightly, so he was silent all night and slept with each other. The next day, when the sun fell on the top of Shenling Mountain, Xiao Yang and Lin Qingwen were already ready. Let's go. Xiao Yang glanced at the huge mountain range behind him. This is his base, the beginning of the birth of Endless Fire territory. I don't know if you will hear from Her Majesty Queen Medusa? Lin Qingwen asked softly, smelling a trace of reluctance in Xiao Yang's pupils. No need, let's go. While speaking, a few people left gently, taking advantage of the rising sun. They did not wake up Kailin and Mu Yingying's 2 daughters and the other high-level officials. Lin Qingwen nodded, so he jumped directly into the space channel and headed towards the Tianqing continent. The space channel was naturally constructed by the 5-star fighting immortals in the Endless Fire territory during Xiao Yang's retreat. The space is quite stable, and it has the space coordinates of the original Tianqing continent. It is indeed quite easy to build. She's gone at this time, at the back door of the manor, looking at Xiao Yang who stepped into the space passage. The figures of Kailin and Mu Yingying appeared, and Mu Yingying couldn't help feeling a little sad. Road. You girl, it's also suffering you. Helplessly shook his head, and there was a deep meaning in Kailin's eyes. This guy is going to carry everything by himself, it will be very tiring. This time, Mu Yingying did not have the playfulness of the past, but looked at the place where Xiao Yang left with a serious face, and said in a deep voice. Road. So. At this moment, Rao Yi Kailin's indifferent personality couldn't help but be surprised. Next time he comes back, I will become stronger. Mu Yingying clenched her slender hands into fists and said. Now. I'm looking forward to it instead. At this moment, Zaidu returned to calm, and the Endless Fire territory has many strong guards and Kailin's rule, and it is also more and more powerful. As for Xiao Yang, he slowly moved towards the Tianqing continent. Go. As for Mu Yingying, Shenyang's transformation into human beings has a rather tyrannical advantage, not to mention there are 2 Shenyang and Fenju. I am afraid that the next time Xiao Yang sees him, his strength will be qualitative. Promote. On the other hand, the Tianqing continent is also becoming turbulent at this time. On the one hand, because the royal election is imminent, the 3 most powerful candidates are all forming gangs, so that many tyrannical forces are fighting from all over the Dudi continent. Go to Tianqing continent. Once the candidates they support win, they will also get enviable rewards, which has also created an unprecedented lively scene in the Star continent today. At this moment, a new chapter is also completely set sail. The error-free chapters of Fighting the Sky God of Yang Emperor will continue to be updated on novel.com, and there will be no advertisements on the site. Please collect and share. I don't know about Tianqing continent. What's wrong? Sitting on the spaceship, Xiao Yang asked Lin Qingwen on the deck. The Tianqing continent is not as good as the Xianling continent, because we are a continent built with the most wood attributes, such as refining pharmacists and smiths. And I have to say that the wood attributes that the royal family of our heavenly star continent has mastered, I am afraid that in the entire Dodi continent, there are some fierce names. When Xiao Yang asked this, Lin Qingwen also laughed. Oh, wood attribute. Xiao Yang said with a smile when he heard the words. The amber rock soul fire produced by the fusion of the 4-color holy flames in his body is no less powerful than the top 15 holy flames, so this time, Xiao Yang did not want to expose it easily. In addition to the wood attribute that Xiao Yang has never had the time and opportunity to cultivate, it seems that this time the Tianqing continent has really come to the right. Wait. Something's wrong, isn't the Tianqing continent famous for the power of the stars? How can you use the wood attribute? For a while, Xiao Yang remembered that the Tianqing continent was founded by a strong man who mastered the power of the stars. The power of the stars is too illusory, and it has long disappeared under the rule of countless generations of royal families. Now the wood attribute is prosperous, and it is also forced by the situation. Lin Qingwen also said regretfully, "Sir, go back and rest, because there are some problems with the space channel, so you need to transform once in the middle, and we will wake up the adults." Lin Qingwen did not forget to instruct. Xiao Yang heard the words, and gently walked towards the spaceship. Although there are still many doubts, but only when he arrives in the Tianqing continent can he have a chance to understand, and Xiao Yang feels that it seems that this Lin Qingwen don't know the exact facts. The Xianling continent and the Tianqing continent are thousands of miles away, and the space channel can only transmit thousands of miles. In addition, the endless fire domain has no ability to build a time-space wormhole, so it must be divided into secondary space channels. Tienmu City. This place has been separated from the Xianling continent, and one can clearly feel the strong energy of heaven and earth suspended in the air. Compared with the Xianling continent, it is undoubtedly much more tyrannical. Tienmu City is located at the very edge of Tianqing continent, but this is a quite prosperous city, because there is a rather tyrannical space passage here, so it is the only way for many strong people to travel. Let's go straight, we have the princess's warrant, and the Tienmu City Lord should also belong to the princess's faction, so they won't make it difficult for us. Xiao Yang and everyone just exited the space passage, and Lin Qingwen said immediately. The exits of the space passages are all located in the city, but the exits and entrances are in the north and south directions respectively. At this time, Xiao Yang and everyone just came out of the space passage exits, trying to go to the other entrance, and entering that entrance, they can arrive directly at the core of Tianqing continent, the land of the royal family. Let's go. Several entourages behind him said softly, looking around cautiously. Strange. There seems to be some strange aura here. When Xiao Yang followed Lin Qingwen towards the entrance of the space in the city, there was a rather strange feeling from the soul power in his body, and this feeling, Xiao Yang but remember clearly. This smell seems to be the fluctuations of the light-based vindictive aura cast by the demon of light before. Moreover, the light-based fighting spirit, not to mention the Dodi continent, even the entire human world is only possessed by the Holy See. Furthermore, the power of the Holy See is distributed in countless regions in the human world, and the Dodi continent is only an important branch of the Holy See. As for where their headquarters is set up, few people know. Grown-ups. Here is Tienmu City. We need to enter the space passage from here to reach the royal land smoothly. On the other side, a thin man in gorgeous clothes was facing the four in front of him, bathed in black robes. The strange man below said. The four strange men spoke slowly, and immediately followed, they were in front of Xiao Yang's crowd. This. Lin Qingyun. Why is he here? After a while waiting to step into the entrance of the space passage in a huge square, Lin Qingwen's face unconsciously became ugly. What's wrong? Looking at Lin Qingwen's sudden face, Xiao Yang asked. Lord Xiao Yang, please take a look. This thin man in front of him is about the late stage of the 4-star fighting immortals. She is not from the princess's faction. Instead, she has a grudge against the princess. This time, she hastily left the star continent. I am afraid it is also to get help. The thin man in the distance said solemnly. Is he a supporter of the other two candidates? Xiao Yang surveyed slightly. These 4 guys are a bit strong. After some inquiries, Xiao Yang was a little surprised, because under the 4 men in black robes in front of him, there was probably a light-type battle chi hidden in front of them. But among the 4, except for one person in the middle stage of 5-star fighting immortals, the strength of the other 3 people vaguely made Xiao Yang somewhat incomprehensible. Even among the four figures, a guy with a big complexion gave Xiao Yang an unprecedented oppression. "Teacher, what's the matter?" At the same time, there was a sudden communication among the four figures in black robes waiting to enter the entrance of the space at the edge of the round platform. It seems to have found something interesting. The black-robed old man opened his mouth slightly, and there was a smile in his voice. "That is Lin Qingwen and Xiao Yang, who just ruled the Xianling continent's endless fire territory." At this time, Lin Qingyun couldn't help but laugh. Lin Qingwen is one of the princess's confidants. If he can be killed, it is even possible to completely obliterate the domain owner of this endless fire domain. After returning, that adult should reward himself with a lot of benefits. "My lords, that is Lin Qingwen, who supports the princess faction, and the recently rumored endless fire domain owner Xiao Yang," Lin Qingyun said with a smile. "Xiao Yang? This guy seems to have the same name and surname as the Xiao Yang mentioned by the Son of Light. I just don't know if it is the same person. Forget it, now that we have met, then trouble the old man Huang, let's kill those guys in one go, and save our time." After a while, the black-robed old man said casually, "A powerhouse from the Holy See." At this moment, Xiao Yang laughed. The strength of the black-robed old man may have reached the 6-star Do's Yan, which is why he was able to give himself such a tyrannical oppression. Unfortunately, Xiao Yang today Yang's strength has skyrocketed. If there is no 7-star fighting immortal powerhouse, I am afraid it will be extremely difficult to completely obliterate it. I am afraid that the mere 6-star fighting immortal is not enough. For a time, the 100-meter round platform square where there were only Xiao Yang and the two old men in black robes was filled with a strong smell of gunpowder. For a time, the huge 100-meter circular square was suddenly completely covered with a ray of baiji, and then a heavy depression filled the bodies of Lin Qingwen and several people, making their footsteps involuntarily become extremely heavy. After all, the strength of several people is still too weak. Xiao Yang didn't panic. A soft big celestial crimson flame surrounded Lin Qingwen and the others, temporarily relieving their depression, and then his eyes became deep. "A realm, the powerhouse of the Holy See, is truly well deserved." Xiao Yang's soft voice filled the entire realm. "Nice sense of smell and perception, but unfortunately today will end you." The person who came here did not show up. Apparently he had completely merged with the White Realm at this time, and said in a rather contemptuous tone, 5-star fighting immortals complete light system?" After a while, Xiao Yang sensed the specific strength of the person coming from this contemptuous voice. "Get down." After the blink of an eye, Xiao Yang's palm suddenly lifted, and the dazzling power of the great heavenly seed flame was like a long rainbow, blasting directly towards the sky above the domain. The aura made people shudder. With a sound, Xiao Yang hit a gap in the pure white domain, and then a rather strange figure appeared. The mysterious powerhouse originally hidden in the domain, the black robe on his body was completely burned by Xiao Yang's flame and turned into nothingness, but a very conspicuous black and white robe appeared on his body. The black and white robe seemed to be different from ordinary clothes. It easily isolated Xiao Yang's flame power completely, and even contained a trace of tyrannical light-type fighting qi, which continuously repaired the fighting qi in the mysterious powerhouse's body. The Holy See powerhouse? Prince Lin Feng really had secretly liaised with the Holy See for a long time. "This beast," Lin Qingwen said with a livid face when he looked at the man in special attire like a monk. "The Holy See is quite greedy. They not only preach that the angels of light they believe in can save all the jealousy in the world, they even collect the power of faith everywhere for this, and they have coveted other continents for a long time." Prince Lin Feng agreed to cooperate with them. "I am afraid it also paid a lot of money, and the Holy See strength is too huge, which is clearly to introduce a wolf into the room. Obviously, that guy even paid all the price in order to get the support of the Holy See, and the purpose of doing so was to succeed as long as he was able to elect himself. Under the endless fire territory, the domain master never kills the nameless. Your honorable name?" Xiao Yang smiled when he looked at the guy in front of him. "Since this time I went to the Tianxing continent, and these guys are from other factions, there is no need to be soft-hearted, and the endless fire territory has just started, so naturally it needs some things to help it to make it famous. Church Huang of the Holy See." At this moment, the black-robed monk man was not despising Xiao Yang. He knew the tyranny of the flame power on Xiao Yang's body, so he was vigilant. "Cultivator Huang?" It is said that in the Holy See, from the lowest entourage to the third-level monks in blue, white and black, and above, there are the 6 major believers. In addition, there are the 3 major red-clothed archbishops and the Pope. Xiao Yang slightly muttering, after all, the system of the Holy See is not a secret, but I don't know if this is true. Wait is too serious to kill. Let me recite a chant of saving all sentient beings and end the violence of at all. Goddess of light, I swear by your devout people. For a while, Cultivator Huang did not pay attention to the actions of Xiao Yang and the others, raised his hands high, and continued to chant some rather ancient mantras. And every time he chanted, on his black and white robe, strands of light as clear as sunlight slowly emerged, and even this kind of power made Xiao Yang feel an unprecedented feeling, and even the fighting qi in his body stopped. Flow. It is said that the light system of the Holy See powerhouse is not based on absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, but to a large extent, with the help of some incantations, with the help of the power of light, once it is used, its attack power can be described as extremely tyrannical. At this time, Lin Qingwen said solemnly, "What will be the effect of killing them?" Looking at the mighty cultivator Huang, Xiao Yang turned his head and asked Lin Qingwen, "What? Kill them? Sir, don't be joking, there are 4 of them. This guy should not be the strongest among the 4. If he kills him, I am afraid it will lead to death for us." "Quiet me," Lin Qingwen roared, looking at the frightened look of his followers. "Lord Xiao Yang, they are all heretics who resist the princess. If you can kill them, I'm afraid it will be very helpful for the election of the princess." Lin Qingwen smiled. "Fire." Hearing Lin Qingwen's words, Xiao Yang spoke softly, without any hesitation. The ancient ruler of eternal fire appeared in his hand, and with the power of the great heaven seed, he moved his body directly and slashed at the chanting cultivator Huang. Cut away. The fighting skills this guy chanted at this time were at the level of saint rank, to say the least, and he was quite powerful, but it was obviously not a wise choice to treat Xiao Yang as an idiot. Just as Xiao Yang's fierce attack was about to hit cultivator Huang, his entire body was completely protected by a white halo. Very strong defense. "It's a pity to meet me." At this moment, Xiao Yang laughed like a demon. On the palm of his hand, the amber rock soul fire flashed away, and the white defensive shield was instantly shattered, and even before cultivator Huang could find out how Xiao Yang solved his defensive shield, Xiao Yang's heavy ruler directly pierced through cultivator Huang's body and even smashed his soul into pieces. In the next moment, cultivator Huang fell sadly. This guy never imagined that his defensive shield, which was comparable to that of a 6-star fighting fairy, was destroyed by Xiao Yang. "Let's go. Go and meet a few other people. Since the grievances have been forged, there is no need to hide them." With a wave of his hand, the Ihua Hungu ruler was carried behind his back, and a large flame emerged, directly smashing the monk's body burned to ashes. After a while, the white field dissipated, and Xiao Yang had an evil smile on the corner of his mouth. He walked over to the other people from the edge of the circular square and looked at the other 3 men in black robes. "Teacher, cultivator Huang's aura no longer exists." At this moment, one of the 3 black-robed men led by Lin Qingyun couldn't help muttering, "Endless fire territory is indeed a bit powerful, but it's a pity." After a while, the one with the most powerful breath among the 3 black-robed figures directly took off his robe, but on his rather ordinary and kind cheeks it was a terrifying emotion. "This is one of the powerhouses of the 6 major believers." At this moment, Lin Qingwen and several others were pale, like dead ashes. For nothing else, the identity of the 6 major believers is enough to easily obliterate them, because the strength of the believers is between the middle stage of the 6-star fighting immortal and the 7-star fighting immortal. Not to mention that the 6 major believers still master the extremely tyrannical fighting skills in the Holy See. This time, Lin Qingwen and several people knew that following Xiao Yang, "I am afraid that there will be death and no life." Tangling the other people, leaving this guy, leave it to the teacher. For a while, the other 2 weak Vatican men were like ghosts, and they completely subdued Lin Qingwen and the others in an instant. If it wasn't for the fear of Xiao Yang's strange strength, and the rumors that Xiao Yang was too high, I'm afraid they would directly take action to arrest Xiao Yang. "Lord, go." After being caught by the 2 men from the Holy See, Lin Qingwen roared at Xiao Yang, who was motionless. In any case, this time the princess explained her task. It must be completed, otherwise Lin Qingwen will have no face to see the princess, and judging from the tone of the princess's instructions before leaving, Xiao Yang must be quiet in this election. If an important person loses the election because of his own reasons, I am afraid that he will feel extremely guilty. "Xiao Yang in the endless fire territory. It's true that you have some ability, but you killed my Holy See envoy Huang Xiu, and today, this disciple will bring you to justice." After a while, the Holy See old man stared gloomily at Xiao Yang and smiled. With his strength, cultivator Huang could have been rescued, but in order to obliterate Xiao Yang, there must be some reasonable excuses. After all, This guy is now also the ruler of the Endless Fire territory. To obliterate him for no reason will give the Holy See a lesson. A lot of trouble. This kind of trick, don't take it out for shame. Don't you think that a believer in the mid-level 6-star fighting immortal can kill me? It's too small to underestimate my Endless Fire territory. Xiao Yan shook his head without any extra action, but the arrogance in his voice was not concealed in the slightest. To deal with this kind of guy, the only way to deal with this kind of guy is to use violence to control violence. Most convincing. And what surprised Xiao Yang was that this guy actually wanted to use the fall of Cultivator Huang as an excuse to obliterate himself. Unfortunately, this guy did not think about his own strength and battle, so there was nothing he could do about it. Stinky boy, you can't live without dying. Light beam. With a light snort, the old man was surrounded by a milky white halo, his speed skyrocketed, his hand turned into an eagle claw, and it shot at Xiao Yang. The fierce attack strength turned out to be the energy of heaven and earth. They all shook violently. Hot explosion technique. Xiao Yang said softly upon seeing this, his body suddenly became lighter, his speed skyrocketed, and he directly dealt with him. The guy who ranks 5th among the 6 major believers. This guy is the representative of close-to-hand combat, Lord Xiao Yang, I hope you are all right. At this moment, Lin Qingwen and the others could only watch the battle in silence. If things really get to the point of being irreversible, I am afraid that with their loyalty, they can only die. Crash. The speed of the old man from the Holy See skyrocketed, and the attack instantly spread to Xiao Yang's body. Even if the offensive in the hands of the Holy See elders is extremely fierce, every time they hit Xiao Yang's body, they will be digested by a rather hot flame. For a time, in the entire round terrace square, Xiao Yang and the Holy See elders also keep fighting. This is the territory of Tienmu city, but even if there is such a fierce battle here, no one will come to inspect. After all, like today's eventful autumn in the Star Continent, everyone is in danger and only seeks to protect themselves, and both sides have royal people to pick up. Introduced, these defenders do not want to intervene. Little brother, it's getting late, I'll send you on your way. After a while, the old man of the Holy See stopped the melee fight with Xiao Yang. Immediately, white light appeared all over his body, and a tyrannical white halo emerged like the morning sun. Singing fighting skills? I won't give you this chance. Xiao Yang saw the old man's intention at a glance, waved his palm, and the power of the great heavenly seed swept out. The fighting skills that this guy used were obviously not on the same level as the fighting skills that Cultivator Huang wanted to use just now. Crash. You are too embarrassed to take out such a weak power? The old man of the Holy See shook his head lightly, disdainfully saying that he could completely destroy it with a single blow. Don't get too happy too soon. The array of immortal silk and vine. After a short while, Xiao Yang's mouth burst into laughter. With a wave of his palm, a green door of light completely enveloped the place. As soon as he was enveloped by the green light door, the boundless green trees grew wildly, instantly changing the appearance of everyone around them. Teacher, sir, what's going on? With such a sudden scene, Lin Qingyun and the other 2 men in black lost their voices at the same time, and the wildly growing trees around him exuded a strong sense of crisis, which made people shudder. This guy is not as simple as I imagined. At this time, the old man of the Holy See blinked with different eyes, and this level of formation is not only something that an unknown person can use. After casting the formation, Xiao Yang's figure was completely hidden behind the green leaves of the trees, and the figures of the other Lin Qingwen were also rescued by Xiao Yang. The breath of the Soul Palace. When Xiao Yang was just about to launch an attack, he smelled the disgusting breath of the Silk Soul Palace by relying on the formation that he had enhanced. Boom! With a sound, the clothes of the old man of the Holy See, a halo of sunlight, suddenly emerged, and the formation spread instantly. Lord Xiao Yang, what's the matter? After Shurenshi, Lin Qingwen didn't have time to be overjoyed, but found Xiao Yang's face, which was rather ugly, and hurriedly asked. Some uninvited guests. Forget it, I want to see what these guys are going to do. After some thought, Xiao Yang suddenly had other plans, and the energy in the formation suddenly decreased. As time passed, it turned out to be a faint yo-yos became fragmented crack. With a sound, the old man of the Holy See also did not understand that Xiao Yang's formation would suddenly decrease in energy and be completely destroyed by himself, and Xiao Yang's breath also became weak. But at this time, he obviously didn't have time to think so much. As long as he dedicated Xiao Yang to Lord Zai, then his status would be further improved, and his future would be bright. Xiao Yang from the Endless Fire territory, the 5th believer of the Holy See, this time, it's really a bumper harvest. And as Xiao Yang was pale and his face was pale, he sat in the square, a hideous laughter and black mist instantly surrounded the entire square. Soul. The guy from the Soul Palace? At this time, Rao, with the strength of the old man of the Holy See, couldn't help but get heavier. Not good. At this moment, Xiao Yang also realized something and hesitated. Stay well for this seat. Just as Xiao Yang was about to escape, a black light directly bound Xiao Yang to the spot, but these guys never noticed the flashing smile on the corner of Xiao Yang's mouth. Hand over all of your souls, otherwise you will all fall here today. After Shurenshi, a gloomy figure wrapped in black mist, like a master, said to everyone here, and there was an unexpected sound in his voice. It is full of tyrannical fluctuations. 6-star fighting immortal is complete. This video will end here.